both for thick and thin blood films.
Yes.
And I'm sure this is a very essential technique. We want to see how we can achieve flawless thick and thin blood films. And I think we are guided by our senior here, Taj Habib. And Taj Habib is a senior medical lab officer and also an author. And he will give us tips, expert tips on how to achieve this optimal staining and what are the common pitfalls and how to avoid them. And I think we are all ready for this. And I can see we are tuned in, and we shall welcome questions at the tail end of this session. So Taj, if you can hear me, kindly proceed as we...
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
All right. Thank you, Fred, as usual. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Welcome, everyone. My name is Taj Habib. I have been around for many years. I'm practically a dinosaur in this field. Okay. One of the problems we are facing in staining, either by Giemsa or field stain, is that we make the smear that, let's just concentrate for the moment, thick smear. You make a thick smear, especially from a EDTA sample, and you find that half of the smear has been lost, especially in the washing stage. So this webinar, I hope, will assist you to stop this blood sample getting washed away. It is a system which was discovered by two authors, of which I've given the references at the bottom of this webinar. So you can also refer them. It's something well known now. So we start. Yeah. So just let me see if I can minimize here. What happens is the best smear for malaria detection is the thick smear. It is approximately 6 to 10 times more sensitive than the smear. The thin smear, it is less time consuming. There is more concentration of blood. So it is the best smear to use when you are trying to look for malaria parasite. Common problem, smear, part of the smear starts washing off during staining, and then you end up giving false negative results. Okay, so these two gentlemen have come up with an idea which you can try yourself and practice and see whether it will be helpful. So what is the concept? Thick blood films are not fixed in methanol. So there is no, you cannot fix the thick blood smear in methanol. So that is another problem. So it is sitting on a slide without any fixation except the drying part of it. So during Giemsa staining, especially the rinse step, RBCs are lysed because you are using water. The EDTA smear is the worst. It gets washed away more than a fingerprint sample. So there is partial detachment of blood smear from the slide. So how can we stop this? So this is the secret, this one. Sorry. This is the secret. This is the smear. You can see this is washed away. A lot of you have seen this in your practice. And then you see, and then here, this is the best, this is the worst. Now, what is the secret? So these two gentlemen came up with an idea To increase adherence of the EDTA collected blood, use the edge of another slide to spread and scratch the glass slide while you are spreading it. Gently, not too hard, for 10 seconds. The timing is important that you scratch it slowly, gently. You don't have to force it. So when you are scratching a slide, what happens is you are creating some roughness. That means the cells now, the blood cells will adhere to that roughness and not get washed. Very simple technique. Just scratch with another slide, the corner of another slide. Very simple. Okay. Reduce loss of blood smear, controlled micro roughing. So you are going to make the slide rough, but in a controlled way, not too hard. Yeah. Lightly scratch the glass slide using the corner of another slide while making the thick smear. You can also scratch before you pick a sample. You can scratch before or after. Normally it is after. So what is the mechanism behind this webinar and this method is there is a smooth glass slide without scratching. It has got a poor mechanical grip. So micro scratching, you have grooves and therefore there is mechanical anchoring. So being rough, the addition is much better. So blood penetrates these micro grooves and you get a stronger addition. This is just a comment that EDTA blood is the worst. Okay. So there are any other method, there are certain sets. The setback with this method is you don't over scratch. And if you do that, you can have problems with the artifacts. Scratch lightly, usilime sana, avoid visible deep grooves, use a clean slide. Now, there is another friend of mine in a he uses the frosted part of the slide and he tells me it works out very well. But that is something which is not been published, but you can try it out because the frosted part of the slide, which we normally use for labeling, is already scratched. Okay, now when it comes to making a blood film, a thick blood film, it is essential that your slide is grease free, let air dry at room temperature. You can use a cold fan. Do not apply any form of direct heat. But in an emergency, you can put the slide in the incubator for 5 minutes, no more. There are times I travel around the country and I find a lab with a hot bulb under a sufuria, and they put the slide on top of the sufuria. So what you are doing here is you are coagulating the plasma because the heat is too much. You can't even touch that sufuria. Stain cannot penetrate the RBCs and therefore malaria parasites cannot be stained and you will give a false positive. A false negative, I beg your pardon. I repeat, if you cook the blood smear you will get false negative reaction. It is very important at this stage also to understand what is autofixation. So if you leave a blood smear, a thick or a thin smear, you let it dry, and then you leave it for too long, more than an hour, there was a patient who came at night, and Thomas, who was on duty, he made the smear and he found malaria, and then he kept one smear, thin smear, for me to have a look. In the morning when I came, I looked at it, I tried to stain it, but by that time, autofixation has taken place. And once that takes place, the stain will not penetrate. Waited for the thin smear to dry and then fix it with methanol and then keep it for me the next morning to have a look. So in this case, you can use methanol to fix the smear to give it a longer life. Now in the thick smear, these two gentlemen have also advocated that you use acetone to fix the thick smear. So yeah, they are saying just dip the slide 1 second in a pot of acetone. Dip it just once or twice, that's all. Let it dry. The advantage of the acetone fixing the thick smear is that, number one, it increases adhesion, so it will not get washed away. But two, it will not auto-fix. So that slide, which is over dry, tends to peel off the blood. That's not going to happen. The other greatest advantage is that the acetone will disinfect HIV, is that the RBCs, it partially interferes with the lysis of the RBCs. So it has a downside, but it's something which has been documented by these two gentlemen again. So you can have a look at it and see whether it will help you, especially if you want to store malaria positive slides for students to have a look at it. But we are going to come to that storage issue. Okay, now in the thin smear, we also have problems with slide being washed away when you're staining with Giemsa or field stain. The problem here is that the methanol is contaminated with water. So when you have Giemsa stain, number one, store it in a glass bottle, preferably. If your supplier cannot give you a glass bottle, store it in a very good quality plastic bottle, but each time you remove the Giemsa, you lock the bottle properly, or you aliquate some of the Giemsa for a week in another glass bottle. But this is a problem you will face when slides are greasy or the Giemsa stain is contaminated with water from the atmosphere. Okay. This is actually called sloughing. So the Giemsa bottle should never be left open. Never let moisture enter into the methanol, which is one of the components of preparing Giemsa stain. Okay. This is just want to add, when we are dealing with malaria, see, you watch out for a low platelet count. That's a very strong indicator. In our lab, all CBCs with low platelet count will be automatically have a thick smear made and examined for MPs. We don't wait. Anybody with a platelet count of less than 150, a thick smear is done, and quite many times we do get positive cases. There is also an increase in monocytes, low WBC count, and elevated gamma GT because the liver is involved. Raised CRP, raised D dimer. Okay, so I'm seeing some messages here. I don't know whether you can hear me well. So let me just look at this message. It's very okay. Okay, I don't see. Okay. If you get the smear is negative for malaria, you should wait another 2 hours and take another smear from the patient. It helps. Okay. These are the two gentlemen who have published papers on the scratch method and acetone fixation. Both papers, one was published in 1981, the other one was published in 2013. These are the same people. You can look them up. They do explain about scratching and use of acetone. Okay, so I want to ask Fred whether we can go to the top of the slide again for those who joined late. Hello, Fred. Fred.
Yes, Taj, I can hear you.
Okay, you want me to start again for those who joined?
Yeah, I feel like you redo it. You take another round, and then we shall welcome questions and concerns. Is that okay, Taj?
Hello.
You can hear me?
Hello. Yes,
you can hear me?
Can I read? Can I read? Hello. Fred?
Yes, we can hear you. I'm
Hello,
saying
Fred.
yes. Taj, I can
Fred?
hear you. I can hear you, or can the participants confirm that they can hear me? Taj, I can hear you. Taj? Taj, can you check your network? Thank you, Frederick, for confirming that you can hear me. I think Taj has dropped off, but I'm sure he will be back. Okay. Yeah, thank you for confirming that you can indeed hear me. So maybe let's see if Taj can. Taj, can you hear me? Taj, kindly unmute. Unmute. Taj, unmute. Taj, can you unmute and then we proceed? Thank you, Dan, for confirming that you can indeed hear me. I think we have lost Taj, but he's in the meeting. So Taj, kindly unmute. Taj.
Okay, I'm trying. Yes.
Good.
Yes,
Can you share your screen now?
Hello.
Can you share your screen?
Yes, I've shared my screen, but I'm having a problem. I can only see Fred here.
No,
Hello,
we are in the
hello,
middle
hello.
of just sharing a screen. Can you close the window that you are currently on and then you share your screen?
Okay. Okay, let us see whether I can close the window. I think I have power and everything.
George, are you able to help? George?
I am stuck here. George? Yeah. Okay. I'll have to close everything and do it again. Okay, okay, we are getting in. Okay. All right. All right. All right.
Taj?
Okay.
Taj, you can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but are you able to hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. I think you just need to share your screen.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I've shared my screen and I can go to presentation mode.
No, we cannot see. Can you close the video? Can you close the video
Now?
first? Can you close
Can
the
you-
video first? Because we can't see your screen.
Okay, close the video. Yes. Okay, let me see what I can do here. Okay, host. Okay, I can see. I don't have a video now at the moment, but can you hear me?
We can hear you clearly, but we can't see your screen.
Okay, you should see my screen now. I think so. Let me see. I need to share the screen with you. And then I need to share here. Now? Now?
It's very good. It's very good. It's very good. Go to
Now you can see? Okay?
Yeah, do go to presentation mode now, and you can repeat it once again.
Okay, we are going into presentation mode. There we are.
Very well. Proceed.
Okay. So today's webinar is to improve staining of thick blood smears by increasing the addition of the blood smear onto the slide. So basically, we want to prevent the smear getting washed away. So this particular work has been done by two scientists, and they have published papers on it. So to start with, as an introduction, thick smear has about 10 times more sensitivity than thin smear. So it is a very essential tool in the lab, and most people use thick smears to identify malaria parasites. Since the cells are concentrated in one area rather than a thin smear, the chances of you picking malaria parasite quickly are greater. But then we have a problem when staining a thick smear, it tends to get washed away or partially washed away. So that's the webinar today, is to suggest to you that we increase addition. So here we are. Since thick blood films are not fixed with methanol, unlike the thin films, we have an issue. So that issue is what we want to address today. Especially when you make a thick smear from EDTA blood, that even makes it worse if the smear is almost all gone. Thick smears made directly from the finger prick are better. So here we are. You can see on the right hand side here, this is what happens when you are staining with Giemsa or field stain. You see what is called sloughing. The smear is almost all washed away here. This one we want to achieve. So to increase adherence, we are using another slide, the corner of another slide, and we are scratching this slide, kind of grinding it gently for 10 seconds. The timing should be there. You should not just scratch for 2 or 3 seconds. For 10 seconds, you just rotate the edge here to make it slightly rough. You don't want to build tunnels. You just want to scratch it slightly. And then you will be able to achieve this. Okay. So to reduce loss of blood smear, you do what is called controlled micro roughening. Lightly scratch the glass slide using the corner of another glass slide. And when making thick smear, you can scratch before or after or during the time of collecting the blood. So glass slide is normally a poor mechanical grip. Micro scratching creates anchorage, a kind of a mechanical anchorage. It's like setting up an anchor, like a boat. So this helps a lot, and it will stop your slide being washed away. The important thing is, like any other method, there are precautions, and there are also a little bit of a downside in it. The major problem is artifacts. You scratch lightly, usilime sana, no visible deep grooves should show. Use a clean slide and you will be fine. I have a friend in Eldoret. He uses the frosted side of the slide, and he says he's very successful. His smears don't get washed away, and he can clearly see malaria. But this is something I have never tried. I just hear from him, and it has not been documented. But this light scratching is documented by these two gentlemen. Okay. Oh. Sorry. I'm trying to get somewhere, but I'm not able to. So here we are. Our next slide is we are scratching micro. Then This one, usilime sana. Then now, when it comes to drying any blood smear, whether thick or thin, try and use a cold fan. Table fans now are available at the cost of 1,000 shillings in most shops and malls. You can buy it from Jumia also. Using heat is a problem, but in an emergency, you can put the smear in incubator for 5 minutes. But this using, there are places I've seen when I go around that they use a very hot bulb under a sufuria. Now that is going to cause, you are not going to see malaria parasites. Everything is cooked. It's coagulated and cooked. The stain will not penetrate. It's already coagulated, and you will therefore report negative when actually there are malaria parasites there. So cooking on a sufuria, which you can't even touch the surface, is not advisable at all for a reason. So now, when you make smears, it is very important that you understand the concept of autofixation. If you make a thick smear and a thin smear, you should be able to stain it within an hour. If you can't stain it within an hour, it is going to go into a phase called autofixation. When that happens, the stain will not penetrate. So if there is a delay in a thin smear, fix it with methanol, and you can delay up to 24 hours, I think. But in a thick smear, you use acetone. Now, this is how you do it. You make the thick smear, you let it dry, you fix it with acetone by dipping it in a bottle of acetone, just one dip out. This will, the greatest advantage of using acetone for thick smears is that it increases adhesion. So your smear will not get washed away. It's a very interesting concept. It increases adhesion and it does not autofix, and acetone will disinfect HIV, hepatitis. But it has a downside. Your RBCs will not lyse in totality. So it's going to create a little problem for you, and you have to get used to it. But it has an advantage. 1 second dip, no more. Okay. This is a blood film made with Giemsa stain, but the Giemsa stain was left open. Now Giemsa consists of methanol, and that methanol got water in it because methanol is hygroscopic, and this is what happens. So if you are using Giemsa, you make sure you tighten the cap of your bottle, and if possible, don't go to the main stock bottle. You allocate for 1 week the stain in another bottle, preferably a glass bottle or a good quality, high quality plastic bottle. But the best way to preserve Giemsa is to be in a glass bottle, because if you use plastic bottles, the methanol tends to eat the bottle, and then you have issues. For time immemorial, since my practice, Giemsa must be made and stored in glass bottles. Okay. Okay. What are the indicators of malaria infection? The first thing is a low platelet count. Normally, it could be even as low as 50. And we have a policy in our laboratory. Any CBC count with a platelet of less than 150,000, automatically we make a thick smear and we examine it for MPs. And quite often we do find incidental findings. It is always platelet is down, you look at it. An increase in monocytes, low WBC count, and elevated liver functions, CRP, and dimer. If the malaria smear is negative, repeat from the patient after 2 hours. Okay. These are the two authors who have done studies and published papers showing that scratching the slide gently will increase adhesion, and acetone can be used to preserve slides, thick smears. I just want to continue with the paper. I have a quiz for you, so you can look at the smear. This was a Canadian tourist who had landed at Jomo Kenyatta Airport, very feverish, and he was taken straight to the hospital from the airport. Now, this is what the blood smear showed. He had not spent 1 day in Kenya, but this is what it showed. You can see. And some of these parasites were also external, not necessarily internal. Quite a lot of them were everywhere, even here in clumps. So what is this? What parasite are we talking about? So again, when it comes to finger prick, we normally take a thick smear for malaria, but then we just mix. We mix here. Let me just see my. So we mix here. You can see you mix direct from the finger prick with another slide. In this case, you don't make grooves because it's a finger prick. It won't, most likely, it won't wash away. But it is important that you continue for 30 seconds. 30 seconds you continue because this is blood without any anticoagulant. It will start clotting. But if you continue 30 seconds, you will prevent fibrin strands, that means you have defibrinated the blood and you will get a clear vision of malaria parasites. If you do not do this 30 seconds rotation, your blood will clot. And when you stain it and look at it, it is not that clear. MPs can be caught in the fibrin. This 30 seconds rotation defibrinates your blood. And there will be no malaria locked up in the fibrin. It's a good technique. It's described. It is documented. Okay. So this is your homework now. How do you preserve unstained, strong positive malaria blood films for teaching students? It should preserve up to 12 months. The hint here is the thin smear should be fixed in methanol. And the hint here is the thick blood film should be dipped in acetone for 1 second. But there is much more to it. So I have published a book, and this is the book if you are interested. And please be interested because I have only 200 copies remaining now. And this is my contact. Fred, can you hear me?
Yes, Taj, we
Fred,
can hear you. Yes, yes.
okay. I'm done, unless if you want me to repeat again, because we have a very big crowd today.
Yeah, but there are very also, it has elicited a lot of reactions, and maybe we can start with the reaction so that we don't close anyone out.
Yes.
But I think this was a very practical presentation as we had discussed. And you can see Lois Shivampo is saying, I'm glad you came up with this topic. I've been having challenges with my films. Slowing, I'm now sorted. Very true, Lois. I think this is a challenge to many of us who are practicing. And there are a couple of questions, Taj, and I feel we just go straight away to the questions first. And welcome any other concerns that may come. So Evans is asking, how can we minimize washing off during rinsing of a thin smear where blood is not obtained from EDTA?
You'll have to repeat that question.
How can we minimize the washing off during rinsing of a thin smear where blood not obtained from EDTA?
To minimize washing off or sloughing of your thin blood smear is number one, your slide should be free of grease. Number two, your methanol has to be absolutely free of water. Number three, when you're washing the slide, say under a tap, you have to go gently. Preferably, you should just have a washing cup, like a coupling jar or a urine container. You have water in it. I would prefer that you use 7.2 buffer, but don't prepare the buffer. You can buy it from the supermarket. You buy drinking water which has a pH of 7.2. There is one particular drinking water which has a pH of 7.2, and it has minerals in it because it is from a spring. So try not to use a tap water falling on the slide, and use drinking water 7.2. Can we move to the next question?
Thank you. There's another
Yes.
Edward Mondi. Okay, let me pick this one from Dixon. Can we use distilled water to make 10% Giemsa or strictly buffered water?
Some people prefer distilled water, but that pH is normally around 6.8. It works. For some people, it works very well. But personally, I would prefer that you use drinking water. The name of the company I've forgotten, but it's from Mount Kenya region, and the drinking water is from a spring, and it is 7.2, and it is 50 shillings a liter. And for me, it works very, very well. I don't prepare buffer anymore. I'm okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's another one here from Evelyn Omondi. Can a cover slip be used as a spreader?
No, absolutely no. Do not use a cover slip. You use a brand new slide to spread and make. Oh, wait a minute. She's asking about scratching or what? No. To make a blood film, correct?
Spreader, yes. If it can be used as a spreader.
No, cover slip has never been documented to make a thin smear. It is used, but it has never been documented. Even if you go to Monica's book, she will tell you, use another slide, new one. Do not use a cover slip. It will cut you in the first place. It is not strong enough to be held between the thumb and an index finger. It will cut you. You will not get a good smear. Use another slide, a brand new slide, and you will get a very good smear. Next.
Thank you. There's another question here, and this is from okay, Benjamin Opio. Thank you, Benjamin. Why are smears washing even after you're drying for 20 to 3 minutes? And then the other question is, this happens even without rinsing on the smear directly. Again, I noticed some gassy translucent reflection on some thin smear. Taj?
You see, first of all, you should not recycle your slides. Slides must be new. And if possible, prepare 70% in methanol and wipe your slide before you make the smear. So you can wipe 10 slides every morning you come and you make smears on them. They are dry and you use it. 70%, beg your pardon, 70%, no, not 70%. You prepare methanol, 90% methanol. Okay, all right, let's do this. Let's not go into the percentage. Just prepare, take neat methanol and wipe your slide. Let it dry, and then use another slide and make a smear. Do not use a cover slip, please. It's not documented. And if possible, that will help. But now you have another tool in your hand. And the tool is, if it's a thick smear, you can scratch gently and it will increase the adhesion and you will have anchorage. Let's go.
Thank you. There's another one here. Job Onunga, does storage of blood smears in the refrigerator prevent authorization?
You see, this is why I gave you the homework assignment. Okay, so let's just discuss it anyway, since you brought it up. The thing is this, that if you put your blood smears in the fridge is moist and your blood smears will all dissolve. So the trick is this, you let the blood smear dry completely. Then you wrap each smear. If it's a thin smear, it should not be fixed at all. Thin smear, don't fix. Thick smear, 1 dip of acetone. I repeat, thin smear is not to be fixed. Once it is dried, you wrap it tightly with an aluminum foil. Each slide is tied in an aluminum foil. The thick smear, you go through 1 dip of acetone, wait for it to dry. Again, you wrap each slide in aluminum foil. This is a method which is documented. Then you put it in a plastic bag. You remove as much air as possible out. Then you put this bag in a sandwich box, which is tight. Then you put this box at -20, and it will last almost a year. But each slide is wrapped tightly in aluminum foil. And then you put in a Ziploc bag, then you put it in a airtight sandwich box, not the one you press, the one which has got a rubber. And then it should be absolutely tight. Then when you want to remove a slide, you just remove one slide and let it come to room temperature. Then you open it, then you stain it.
That's okay. I think that's adequate.
Yeah.
Aflin Nundu says good presentation. Why is low platelet often associated with malaria infection? And I can see Edward has said, Daktari talked about lysis of RBCs causing coagulation process. I think this could be the mechanism for that. Thank you, Edward. Thank you, Edward, for that. Okay, I can see Ebla Mohammed. After preparing the working solution, it will be stable for how many hours?
Which solution is he preparing?
Ebla, you can come up. Are you talking about Giemsa?
Giemsa only lasts a day, 12 hours. After that, you discard.
Sheila Nekesa, can you use the blood lancet cup in making of thick smears? I think is a practice that I see many of us doing.
Use of what?
Blood lancet cup.
Blood lancet cap. Is it plastic?
Yes, it's the plastic cup.
No. You have to create some roughness for to kind of anchor the blood from running away. So you need another corner of another slide to make it. This scratching is very light. It's just a little bit of scratching, not too much. You're not digging, and if you start digging, you will break the slide, the one you're using. So this is just a little bit of scratching, just a little bit, and you will get used to it, and you will see it is quite possible to do that.
Thank you. I can see. I thank you, Isaiah Odote. I want to acknowledge you. He's a senior medical lab officer from Nakuru. Thank you for joining, Isaiah.
Yes.
And I think we appreciate that some of these techniques may be very necessary, especially for the young people joining the field now. And we appreciate you, our seniors, for taking these matters in your hands. Now, there's another question here from Dixon. I think Dixon is talking about, please talk up on some of the best stains we have, Giemsa stains in the market lately.
Dixon, with me, I am agreeing with you 100%. Almost all the Giemsa in the market is terrible because, number one, they are using, when they are making the stain, they are making it when the methanol is already contaminated with water. Number two, they are making it and storing it in very cheap plastic. Now, that methanol starts eating that plastic. In my times, Giemsa was always made in glass bottles, and it had a very tight lid. So tight that there was a plug and a cap. So if I may just indulge, the best Giemsa you can buy today is from a company called Chemoquip. They import it from India. It comes in virgin special type of plastic, and it is not expensive. But I'm sure there are other companies which supply Giemsa. But this particular one I have used, and it's good. It's not expensive. It comes from overseas. But then now, you can't just promote somebody like that. It's a little bit wrong because there are many other companies But if you are buying Giemsa at all, prefer that you buy an imported quality, not locally made.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that's good enough. We don't represent any brand here at LMSK, so I think that
Okay.
claim is important.
Okay.
We proceed, and this is from Evelyn. And Evelyn, I can read your question. At what degree should we tilt the spreaders?
The spreader, you are doing it at room temperature.
He's saying, I think the angle.
Oh, okay. When you're making a thin smear, you have to go to Monica to explain you what happens. When you're making a thin smear, if the blood is very anemic, you raise the angle. If the blood is, the HB is high, you reduce the angle. So go to Monica, she will explain you how to make a smear, but no cover slip, please. Another slide, new one. I'm okay?
I think that is well attended. We had many concerns, and I think everyone's saying at 45 degrees, but I think as Taj has said, let's take time to go and check. I can see Dan Odhiambo is saying there's another brand called Micron. It's okay.
Yes, that's the one. That is the one. Micron is very good.
It's in a plastic bottle. Okay.
But it's imported.
Okay. So I think, colleagues, we have come to the end of today's session with many questions and concerns. And I think, Taj, I'll take this back to you. You've been straight to the point, very practical, very relatable. I think I can take this back to you for your closing remark.
Okay. This method, which I have put in today's webinar, is something which has been tried out by 2 different authors and many others. I myself scratch the slide when I'm using an EDTA sample. Even when I'm doing a finger prick, I do a little scratching when I'm going ground and getting the defibrillation of the blood. I also do a little scratching there so I don't lose my smear. But it's something documented. It's something which was overdue. You should now try it out and see whether it works for you. The scratching is not severe. It's very, very light scratching just to increase. Please, if you are hitting the smear on a sufuria with a bulb underneath, please stop it. You're not, if you're going to coagulate the smear and the stain will not penetrate. You wait for it to dry completely. If you're in a hurry, put it in the incubator for 5 minutes. If it's a thin smear, make sure you don't put it on the plate of the incubator because the temperature there also is high. Just let it stand there in the side of the incubator and wait for it to dry properly. Then let it cool down and then you stain. And in this case, you have to be careful with the methanol you are also using for your Giemsa, because all the slides for Giemsa have to also be fixed with methanol. So is fill stain. So there also, let it fix on a flat surface for 2 minutes. Let the thin smear fix. The thick smear is not fixed, but let the thin smear fix for 2 minutes. Let it dry again completely, then stain it with Giemsa. Don't hurry. It will, the staining system, you have to be good at it and you have to get used to it. I hope that this scratching method and the acid-on technique will help you in your practice. Please, if you can, drop me a line and tell me it worked. I see some other questions, Fred. I don't know whether you want to take it.
Okay. Yeah, I can see a question from okay, from I think the only question is from Abdi. Philip, I can see your comment. I agree with you. And maybe let me bring from Abdi, how can pH of stain be corrected? I mean high pH.
Oh my God. The pH of the stain. I don't know how to do that one. pH of the buffer, yes, but of the stain, I am not very well. And let the stock solution be opened only once a week rather than daily. I don't believe in opening the stock solution every day. You can open it once a week and you put in another bottle, preferably glass, and when you finish with Giemsa. But the bottom line is Giemsa is tricky. If you leave that bottle open, or if the manufacturer has already used methanol which is contaminated, and you will be in trouble. If you decide to buy methanol, also that methanol should come in a glass bottle. I repeat, if you are buying methanol, that methanol should come in a glass bottle with a cork and a soda cap, then another plastic cap on top. There should be 3 caps, an in cap, which sinks inside the neck of the bottle, then a soda top on top, a metal one, aluminum, then another cap. There are people supplying methanol imported in glass bottles. Do not buy methanol from in a plastic bottle. Don't. It is not going to work. So there are tricky things involved here. And I wish you well, try it out, but Giemsa can be tricky. Fred, I'm done.
Very good.
Grace?
Yeah, I think that is it, Taj. And to our participants, I think we shall come to the end of the session. And a lot of comments, a lot of feedback. Shayla is saying never reuse the stain, never reused stain after 10 minutes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so I think it's a good discussion, and it's also, we should also go back to our references and check. And there's an assignment that we gave ourselves here during the presentation. We can take time and just, learning does not end, so that we can just go back and check as we have discussed. Otherwise, it was a very wonderful presentation, very practical, very relatable, and quite insightful. Thank you, Taj, for putting in a lot of work to have us have this presentation today. And I think that brings us to the end. And on behalf of LMSK, I want to say thank you. Until next time, enjoy your evening, everyone.
Thank you too. Grace, where are you? Okay. You haven't gone.